Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dork Side. I'm the Dork on the road, and today let's talk about the actual 4 must-have essentials for motorcycle camping or just camping in general. I'm the Dork on the road and I want to be your internet riding buddy, so please consider subscribing. Getting into camping of any kind, but especially moto camping in particular, can be a little bit daunting at first. There are so many gear advice videos and articles out there that it can be difficult for the new camper to sort out what it is they actually need to get started versus what 10,000 YouTubers and bloggers are trying to get views and affiliate link clicks on. Ironic then that here I am putting together yet another video and a blog, which will be linked below on Moto Camp Nerd's site, you can check that out, designed to help you sift through the noise and nail down exactly what it is you 100% without a doubt unequivocally need to get started moto camping. I'm complicated like that. The good news is that when you get right down to it, there are really only 4 things you absolutely need to go out and do an overnight camp off your motorcycle. And they all start with S. Shelter, something to sleep in, something to eat, and something to drink. That's it. If you account for these 4 things, then you will most likely survive the night, and you might just even have a great time doing it. Let's look at each one a little bit more in depth. First one is shelter. While it is possible to get by without shelter if you just throw your sleeping bag on the ground, most people prefer some kind of protection from bugs and weather while they're sleeping. Shelter when motorcycle camping can take on many forms, but motorcycle campers most commonly use either a traditional tent or a hammock setup. Any small tent will do as long as you can figure out how to attach it to your motorcycle, but backpacking and bikepacking tents tend to be the most popular with motorcycle campers due to their smaller pack size and lighter weight. Another great moto camping option is the bikepacking style tents from Big Agnes. These tents have shorter 12-inch pole sections, so they pack down very small and can fit inside many motorcycle panniers. Many of them also come with an enlarged garage area that's technically designed to fit a bicycle, but makes a fantastic place to store your riding gear, panniers, etc. out of the weather. My personal favorite example of this is the Big Agnes Blacktail Hotel 2, which you've seen in previous videos. Our buddy Beards Bikes and Camping has one, and I'll put a link so you can check that tent out on Moto Camp Nerd's site in the description. For summer camping, you could also get by with a more entry-level 2-person tent from Coleman or something like that. These aren't going to be as weather resistant or last as long, but they'll keep the bugs off you and give you a place to stash your gear. A cheaper tent is a great way to go if you're just getting started and don't want to spend a ton of cash until you're certain that camping is something you enjoy. You can get started with the cheaper tent, and then once it starts to get a little colder or you've decided that moto camping is really something you want to do a lot, you can invest in a better, more waterproof, longer lasting tent. Hammocks are another very popular option with motorcycle campers. They are the smallest packing setup and can be very comfortable for those who can sleep comfortably on their backs. I can't, that's why you don't see me in a hammock. So long as you're camping in an area with ample available trees, hammocks can be a great shelter option. Hammocks are great on their own in warm, dry weather, but if you're thinking you might want to camp in colder temperatures or wetter weather, you might want to think about adding an underquilt and or a tarp to your setup. Some hammock setups will actually come with an included ridgeline and tarp. That's pretty cool. Other shelter options include a simple tarp shelter or just throwing your sleeping bag on the ground if that's something you're comfortable with. I'm usually not. Number 2 thing you need to have to get started moto camping is something to sleep in. It can get cold at night even in the warmest summer months, so most campers like to sleep in a sleeping bag of some kind. These vary wildly in price and temperature range, and there's a solution for almost every budget and preferred camping style. My personal favorite sleeping bag setup is the Diamond Park series from Big Agnes. These sleeping bags have a sleeve on the bottom for your sleeping pad, making it virtually impossible to roll off in the night no matter how much you twist and turn. The top half of the sleeping bag can be unzipped on both sides, making your sleeping bag feel less like a cocoon and more like an actual bed, which I really like. It's the most comfortable sleeping bag setup I've ever used. The Diamond Park bags come in 3 variations. There's a 30 degree, a 15 degree, and a 0 degree, and there's a company called Zen Bivy. It's a company called Zen Bivy that makes something similar setup you can buy all together in a big package. Other less expensive options include more traditional mummy-style bags like the Snug Pack Travel Pack series you can get from Moto Camp Nerd. The truly hardcore among us sometimes sleep in nothing more than a wool blanket. There are lots of options to choose from, but most motorcycle campers agree that some kind of sleeping bag or blanket setup is kind of essential. Number 3 thing you need to make sure you have while you're out camping, motorcycle camping or otherwise, is something to eat. As inconvenient as it can be sometimes, humans need food to survive. While I suppose you could technically survive an overnighter without eating anything, I think we can all agree that camping is a lot more fun when your stomach isn't growling loud enough to send nearby campers scrambling for their bear spray. There are a ton of different ways to address this need while out camping, but they all basically boil down to two distinct choices. To quote a line from famous playwright and children's author Dr. William Shakespeare's classic Green Eggs and Hamlet, to cook or not to cook, that is the question. While it is completely possible and totally acceptable to feast on beef jerky and potato chips for dinner while out camping, a nice warm meal is usually a lot better. The first and most obvious option for camping is the centerpiece of most camping experiences, the campfire. Cooking hot dogs over the fire on a stick is a camping cliche for a reason. It's easy, fun, and almost impossible to mess up, but it can be done. Personally, I'm a big fan of cooking chicken or steak over the fire on a folding metal grill, but it's also possible to cook all kinds of different foods, baked potatoes, corn on the cob, hobo packets with potatoes and peppers and meat, by just wrapping them in foil and throwing them in on top of the coals. Also, if you have a metal pot, you can place it directly in the fire to boil water for a dehydrated meal or for your morning coffee. Other cooking options include isobutane stoves like the UST Trekker or the Jetboil Flash, which is what I'm using now. However you decide to heat your food, make sure you also bring along any cookware or utensils you'll need to eat it. I'm a big fan of the Sea to Summit X Set and Alpha Pan because they are super compact, lightweight, and all the components nest together to take up very little space in my bags. And the fourth absolute must-have item for motorcycle camping or camping in general is something to drink. While many campers get through entire trips drinking only water mixed with malted barley and hops, when it comes to hydration, cooking, and cleaning your dishes, nothing beats good old H2O. While some are brave enough, or foolish enough, to drink directly from mountain streams, those of us who are unwilling to risk inviting the Giardians of the galaxy into our colons have to either bring water from home or have a plan for purifying it in the field. There are a ton of options for bringing water with you on a motorcycle camping trip. Nalgene bottles are very popular because they hold a ton of water and are nearly indestructible, but even a regular old plastic Evian or Dasani type water bottle or just a refilled milk jug can do the trick. My personal favorite water carrying solution is the Sea to Summit Pack Tap, also known as the Pacific Northwest Green Manta Ray, which carries 4 liters of water, super easy to strap to your bike or just throw in your pannier. I also always carry a Camelback full of water so I can hydrate on the way there and just use whatever's left for cooking or coffee making whenever I'm in camp. For on-site water purification, there are a few options. One of the simplest is to just boil water you get from a nearby stream or lake. Make sure you bring it to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute before you drink it or cook with it. Other easy-to-use options include filters with squeeze bottles like the Sawyer Squeeze or the Katadyn Be Free, or gravity filter setups like the Sawyer 1-gallon gravity filter or the like. Those are kind of cool. And that's it! If you want to know what the bare minimum, absolute basic motorcycle camping gear requirements are, you just have to remember these 4 things. Shelter, something to sleep in, something to eat, and something to drink. As long as you've covered these 4 basic needs, you will most likely survive and maybe even enjoy your moto camping experience. There are a few additional things that I personally won't go camping without. A sleeping pad, fire making stuff, a pillow, definitely a pillow. But in terms of the absolute bare minimum basics you need to ensure you've covered, it's just these 4 things. So if you're feeling the itch to dive into the world of motorcycle camping but find yourself overwhelmed by all the options for camping gear setups out there, start here. Beyond that, my advice is just to get out there and try it. You'll learn far more about your personal motorcycle camping gear needs by just getting out there on an overnighter than you would reading hundreds of articles or watching hundreds of videos like this. Cover your bases, take care of yourself, get out there and have fun. So what do you all think? Are there any motorcycle camping necessities I've forgotten to mention? Besides a motorcycle, obviously, but I kind of feel like that one goes without saying. If you're interested in more information on this topic, there is a print version of this video, a blog post on the same topic that I made for Moto Camp Nerd's site, which I will link for you in the description below. That'll have links to all the products I've mentioned so you can get a look at what they look like, what they might cost you, and all of that. So please check that out. Check out Moto Camp Nerd's site. And if you're buying motorcycle camping gear, don't forget that you can save 10% on motocampnerd.com with promo code DORK. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.